It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but
It's
isn't it interesting that it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America. There is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
That's correct.
Sunny Hostin just took a verbal double strike from Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly so fierce it looked like a live TV ambush that knocked the wind out of the entire studio. 1 second, she was sipping tea with full confidence on The View, acting like every word belonged to her alone. And the next, she was stumbling through her own talking points, as if someone yanked the floor right out from under her. The moment unfolded with such sudden shock that she blinked in pure confusion, almost like her thoughts got unplugged the way a weak Wi-Fi signal dies right when you need it most. And Bill Maher wasted no time. This collision spiraled with the chaotic energy of a reality show written at 3 in the morning by interns surviving only on caffeine and shaky hope.
They're disgusting. She's Anna Navarro in your wildest imagination. You could never solo host a show. You will only ever make it as part of an ensemble, and you could never hope to achieve the success that Tucker Carlson has. So you can sit in your little cheap seats all day long and enjoy your little negative henpecking, but your careers are going nowhere, and Tucker is about to dominate.
Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly, two voices who never wait for permission to speak blunt truth, finally reached their limit with Sunny Hostin's non-stop attempts to dominate every discussion. Maher showed up with his sharp, dry sarcasm that lands like a controlled fire, while Megyn delivered cool, precise analysis that cut cleaner than a surgeon's blade, and together they turned Sunny's usual grandstanding into something that looked more like a shaky IKEA stool wobbling on uneven tiles. The entire moment didn't feel like a debate at all. It played out like an academic demolition derby, where Sunny arrived with nothing but a glitter glue stick, while the other two rolled in, driving fully armed bulldozers ready to flatten every weak argument in their path.
I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So she was, everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no fucking thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. They just happen to coincide.
Let's talk about Sunny Hostin's signature move, lifting her law degree like a glowing lightsaber from the Academy of Absolute Certainty, convinced it can silence every conversation instantly. Her credentials practically sit on display across her forehead. Former federal prosecutor, legal analyst, professional finger-pointer, and constant authority on anything she touches. But the truth is simple. When someone begins a sentence with "as a lawyer," you already know what follows will likely be wrong, predictable, or completely unnecessary. And Sunny somehow manages to deliver all three at once with impressive consistency. Watching her speak feels like sitting through a dramatic legal-style TED Talk that has all the moral confidence in the world but none of the solid facts, wrapped in a tone insisting she's always the sharpest mind in the room.
That hot mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 corrections, legal corrections, 4 legal notes. Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side, and then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is a pattern with...
What's truly astonishing is Sunny Hostin's ability to twist absolutely any topic, whether it's a harmless TikTok trend or something as simple as the proper temperature to store mayonnaise, into a sweeping lecture about racial injustice. She could watch a puppy being rescued and still turn it into a grand speech about hidden oppression, all while acting completely certain that she uncovered a major societal conspiracy. It's like watching the human version of a noisy Twitter feed, dramatic, chaotic, and determined to misunderstand everything with full confidence. And honestly, just look at how lost she becomes inside her own arguments sometimes. Even Whoopi struggled to stay patient as the disaster unfolded right beside her on that panel.
Any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left, but don't tell me the left
Or maybe the super far right. Well, he's talking about the left. Well, then
okay, but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunny Hostin didn't just get challenged, she was completely flattened in a philosophical demolition derby. And the only thing she managed to hold on to was her trademark look of moral disappointment. Having strong opinions is one thing, but turning every conversation into a dramatic sermon from the peak of Mount Condescension has become her full-time performance on that panel. She isn't joining discussions. She's staging courtroom scenes where she plays the star, the jury, and the applause sign all at once, expecting automatic praise after every sentence. But Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly don't play by that script. They don't need cheers to validate their points because they bring sharp logic, quick wit, and actual substance that flip the entire dynamic instantly. And when Sunny gets cornered by simple facts, she doesn't rethink anything. She doubles down as if raising the volume could magically transform weak arguments into brilliance.
And finally, new rule. Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Maher, seasoned and completely unshaken, watched everything unfold with the calm patience of a professor grading yet another freshman essay titled Why I'm Always Right, and he barely had to interrupt because Sunny Hostin's monologue was collapsing under its own weight. With every overly dramatic breath, she dug herself deeper into a hole filled with buzzwords, predictable outrage, and a thick layer of self-congratulation that practically fogged up the entire room. Then Megyn Kelly stepped in, quiet, razor-sharp, and almost surgical in the way she sliced through the chaos without raising her voice or performing for the cameras. She peeled back Sunny's polished exterior of forced seriousness, layer by layer, until all that remained was an echo of recycled indignation falling apart right in front of everyone.
They had a discussion on The View about world superpowers from the sound of it. That's how they got into it. And Sunny Hostin made some comments about patriotism and America and Black America. It's all in there, Jason. I mean, it's all in there. I'm going to tee it up. It starts with Alyssa Farah, who's supposed to be the Republican commentator. And then you'll hear Sunny jump in. Listen.
If America is not the #1 global power, it's not going to be Denmark. It's going to be communist China, a country that right now the government is imprisoning Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps. It is a deeply racist government. It's a human rights violating government. It is a government that if they are the leader of the free world, we are not a free world the way that we are right now.
The notion of patriotism and the notion of America and the American flag has been co-opted by the right as if they are true patriots. But when I listen to Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI, he said white supremacy is the biggest domestic threat to this country.
Sunny Hostin's entire approach depends on one thing, never being directly challenged, because she only thrives in long monologues where everything is accused, dramatized, and reshaped to fit her personal script. But when someone like Megyn Kelly calmly pokes even a tiny hole in that inflated bubble of superiority, the collapse is instant and impossible to hide. What happened next wasn't a small slip or a minor mistake. It was a full ideological faceplant that left Sunny scrambling to regain control. When your entire persona stands on shaky scaffolding built from moral grandstanding, even the slightest disagreement feels like an earthquake shaking the whole structure. And this time, that fragile house of cards didn't just wobble. It fell apart in spectacular fashion, creating a moment so awkward and uncomfortable that the tension practically echoed across the entire studio.
Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States, yay, on January 20th of this month. Not everyone's happy about it, and many people would like us to be more focused on the insurrection that he personally unleashed. If you ask them, as we discussed earlier, they think it's as bad as like the Holocaust, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Sunny Hostin of
January
The View
6th was an
today.
atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery.
Yeah, the January 6th is right up there next to the Holocaust and slavery.
Megyn Kelly, whose presence alone seems to set off Sunny Hostin like an alarm blaring in a silent room, doesn't even need to try before Sunny's voice jumps an entire octave the moment she appears. Megyn has a rare and apparently threatening skill on The View. She speaks clearly using facts, organized reasoning, and actual sources, which the panel treats like forbidden magic. Mention real data, explain a timeline without dramatic sighing or emotional spirals. That's practically considered a danger to their entire ecosystem. So while Sunny clutches her pearls and reacts to another imaginary crisis shaped from vague TV commentary, Megyn calmly breaks down the truth about her with sharp precision. She cites statistics, uses research, and explains calmly, creating a display of composure and literacy that seems to terrify everyone at that table.
I want you to note the tone they all talk with him. I want you to look at Sunny Hostin's body language and the way they look at him and everything else. Just because he is a lefty who hasn't gone completely bananas, here they are talking about the word woke.
The term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and so
migrate.
why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate.
Sunny Hostin walks into every debate armed with emotional smoke bombs, dramatic bursts, and hand gestures that look like full-on interpretive dance meant to symbolize injustice, while Megyn Kelly responds with calm, targeted reasoning that cuts through the noise like a guided missile. It's like watching someone bring a coloring book to a chess match, then acting outraged when the other player actually understands how the pieces move. You could practically see Sunny's thoughts glitch in real time every time Megyn mentioned actual facts, logic, or history. Her only strategy was retreating into her fortress of indignation, arguing as if 2 + 2 equals systemic injustice, then looking stunned when Megyn metaphorically brings out a calculator to show the truth. And Sunny's confusion keeps growing. She treats sarcasm like hostility and comedy like an emotional attack, turning every reaction into something more exaggerated and baffling than the last.
Whoopi Goldberg was angry when Alyssa pointed out that Trump went to the funeral of Officer Diller.
Yes.
On Long Island, and Joe Biden went to a podcast. Look at Whoopi Goldberg's reaction.
Choose what you like there, but for Republicans, it was good imagery.
Really?
One day later, yes.
And I'm asking that because I was so offended because you know who showed up.
Yeah.
And he was, whether he was asked or not. This
So he
is a
was
man
invited.
who didn't care what happened to the officers on January 6th.
She promotes Joe Biden and Kamala Harris every day on that show. Trump wasn't supportive enough of the cops who were, yes, in danger on J 6th. How does that explain their behavior on a daily basis?
It's 2025, and somehow Sunny Hostin still hasn't learned the simple truth that comedians are supposed to make fun of everyone. That's literally the core of their entire job. Expecting Bill Maher not to joke about public figures is like walking into a bakery and acting shocked that bread exists. Yet every time he makes even the softest remark, Sunny reacts as if someone climbed onto a table and read her entire childhood diary aloud, complete with doodles and that forgotten poem about justice. She clutches her pearls and gasps, "How dare he?" as if personal offense is a real counter-argument during a comedy moment. But the highlight of the chaos was her painfully awkward attempt to out-intellectualize Maher and Megyn. She tossed historical references with the precision of a toddler flinging spaghetti at a wall, hoping something would stick, but most of it fell as confused noise. She threw out half-shaped legal terms like unpinned grenades, trying to sound profound, but ending up like someone who skimmed Wikipedia during breakfast, leaving even a courtroom stenographer ready to write incoherent babble out of pure exhaustion.
Last week you called white Republican women cockroach.
Actually, I didn't. And
you said they're acting like cockroaches.
I used in a similar. Let me answer that.
Okay.
I used a metaphor.
Here's what I'm going to ask you all to do. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to tone it down a bit because I can't hear anything. No one can hear what's being
but she
said.
just said I called white women roaches.
All right, we're going to go to break. We're going to break. Can't take it.
Bill Maher, calm as a frozen lake locked inside a cryogenic chamber, sat back and let Sunny Hostin's dramatic outbursts bounce off him like foam darts hitting a brick wall. This wasn't his first trip through an ideological minefield. He's been navigating debates since the days of dial-up internet, and that experience showed in every expression he didn't bother to hide. You could practically see decades of media wisdom rolling their eyes each time Sunny tried to pin him to a symbolic cross of righteous outrage, believing she was delivering a powerful closing moment worthy of a viral clip from an account named Woke Warrior Queen. But Maher looked mentally done, drifting into thoughts of his next glass of red wine and quietly checking out, while Sunny pushed forward with a monologue powered entirely by determination and zero self-awareness.
And by the way, out there, that hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says Make America Great Again, that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Because we see it anyway.
I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap, because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country, and I don't hate half the country.
How dare you disagree with me?
Megyn Kelly didn't have to raise her voice even once. Her calm, razor-focused replies made Sunny Hostin look like she was being taken apart, piece by piece, turning the entire moment into something that felt less like a debate and more like a controlled cleansing with Megyn as the steady force guiding it. Sunny behaved as if reality were just another opinion she could bend, clinging to the belief that her outrage was always justified and that anyone who disagreed must automatically be in the wrong. She doesn't debate. She stages judgment ceremonies where she plays judge, jury, and prosecutor, expecting applause between commercial breaks while leaning on selective stats and emotional stories that confuse more than clarify. The second another woman pushes back, especially Megyn, Sunny drops the idea of unity and jumps straight into combat. Her breaking point hit when she shifted from losing the argument to playing the moral victim, her usual escape hatch when logic stops cooperating, leading her to label the other person as dangerous. Bill Maher didn't buy it. He simply pointed out how ridiculous the entire scene had become, leaving Sunny scrambling for dignity while viewers begged the universe for clarity. In the end, it wasn't her voice that cracked. It was her worldview collapsing under pressure, revealing a moment so undeniable that no amount of protest could hide the truth. Sunny Hostin was fully exposed and completely overwhelmed on live television.